Awaken. Ready for some spiritual manna? Hello and welcome to the Good Info Cafe, where multiple intelligences meet each day. I'm JK. Today as it is in heaven as it is on earth as it is in heaven. Check out my gut guitar, Great Uncle Tony, and I play it from my gut. This is a gorgeous 1938 Gibson Gut L5 guitar, borrowing it from my father. And I think I might put it down because I'm going to put it down and then I'll bring it back up for some music, some songs. And I'm packing stuff, going through 30 years, 25 years, now that my kids are out there, more on their own and independent. I came across this, so I'll ask my son's permission, but it's beautiful. It's really nice quality, and it's an aviation hat, right? And it's got this for the button up there, and so that's why I'm not wearing a jacket, but I wanted to keep this away from my the guitar, so I think I'll put it in my shirt after I explain about this. So I'm certainly not going to play my brushes on the gut guitar. I'm not gonna play my brushes on the gut guitar, the brushes on the gut guitar, the gut guitar. So hopefully I'll try my circular breathing on the horn. The whistle tone, I'm now gonna be blowing the air out. Some more about the lyrics of Love Your Enemy. And also another fun song about losing my hair. But I'm explaining about lyrics, you'll see. And then my Walkman story. I'll see if I can finish. Akai Morita, who was working at Sony, and my next door neighbor, head of IBM. It's a funny, cool story. Then the show and tell story about my tongue, which helps me with my singing. My tongue, vocal fry. And yes, looks like we're moving in a few weeks, and so that's why I'm going through the boxes. And the Walkman story is stereo belt, German Brazilian guy. So then God or godless or other would be a mixture of people who are unsure. And of course, we're open to opinions, as proved by the last 5 months. But the people, whoever's putting it out there, needs to be ready to get feedback or not, but support their opinion, but then listen to others and say, oh, okay, now I've changed my opinion. I think it's okay to scratch your nose, because George certainly does it. Cherie, don't like it, boom, boom, rock the Casbah, rock the Casbah. Cherie, where you been? And then this is super cool. Sterling silver, I'll explain about that. And then my question of the day are the scriptures the script of God? Are scriptures, that's which has been identified as the scriptures, is that the script? Are those, or is the scriptures, are the script of God? And then the grade and priority rating is those who lie about Alex Jones. I did a lot of research, and I've known about him, and I don't know, it was like 3 years ago, one of the students where I was teaching came up and said, do you hear what they said about Alex Jones? This is like 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago. And you could tell, and I said, they're obsessed with him. And so they became more and more obsessed with him. And so I checked on these things, like him pushing a kid down. It was somebody else, so they lied about that. A lot of misinformation and disinformation about him. So I'm going to give a grade for those who give misinformation and disinformation about Alex Jones. And so let's see what I get to. So circular breathing is as you breathe in with your nose, you push out with your lips. So I do that about 5% as good as Kenny G, but that's the concept. And then, is it okay to scratch your nose on camera? That's could be an adjunct question for the day. So so anyway, where am I? Okay, I'm going to show this. So this was given to my younger brother, and he doesn't like this stuff. He goes away from it. So he gave this to me. Not this chain. I have a different chain, but my mother had given it to my brother, and this is a beautiful. So that's on here. But I just picked this up, and this is about how it's shown. Oh, where am I going to hold it? Maybe get this like this. Get this over here. It's about how this is the south of, let me get this right. Yeah, south of Old City Jerusalem, north Damascus Gate, Dung Gate, Zion Gate, Joppa Gate, Temple Mount. My birthmark just cuts across the Temple Mount and goes a little bit out into Mount Zion. Here's a Holy Sepulchre where one group thinks Jesus was crucified about here, but then others think out here in the Garden Tomb, and others over here by the Mount of Olives. And the bottom line is, that's why I say concepts. He was crucified for challenging the establishment, and most people know that they were wrong to do that to him. The Romans and the Jewish leadership at that time. Not a lot of Jews. Not a lot of Jews. They loved him. So it was really just the the leaders, the dum-dums. So how am I going to put this? Do I get it? I don't know. Is it? Because that's there. And I'm not going to be able to show it right, really. So I had this made, and it fits over my birthmark, more like the person who made this, the jeweler, metal smith, said it's almost 100% the same. It's amazing. Okay. Yeah, I was just born with it. It's a natural phenomenon. What am I supposed to do? Lettuce. So get out your food, pause the, and I washed it. Pause the video so I can get my hand out of the way. There we go. And I washed it, and I put some salt on it. So let's break bread. People don't live by bread alone. It's bread and food, nutrition, and nutritious information, and spiritual manna. So here we go. Got some salt. The packaging, everything is so much better than what people who try to be like God try. So here we go. I get the lyrics. I wrote the song. So just check that baby out. On the back, while I'm finishing chewing 80 years old, more than 80 years old. 81. It was most likely made early 1938. According to Walter Carter. Not sure if I'm going to get all that lettuce out of there. It's not losing a girl that's got me down. It's not losing a job or a place in This town is what's missing on top. It's got me covering up, and with my hair all day I mess around. I'm losing my hair. Oh, I'm losing my hair. It's falling everywhere, on my pillow, down the drain, into the clothes I wear. I'm losing my hair. I find it everywhere. People on the street make sure they stop and stare. I could swear that I'm losing my hair. That's all. Yeehaw! So, this aviation cap looks really goofy. So I wrote that in my 20s when I was starting to lose my hair around age 26. It was on the radio in a few places. Playing the guitar, I guess maybe I should, it won't touch. The other thing, so I wanted to explain about, well, while I'm over here, oh yeah, the whistle tone. So, is breathing in. There's also the breathing out, which is the way to eventually sing. So it's about 3% of what the top singers can do. But I'm going to start working on breathing out and getting it. Some of you might, with good ears, would be able to hear that high-pitched tone that came out. I came across this because I'm packing and going everything. So the 10 Commandments, the first one is authority. God is the authority. Then idols, only God, no other idols. Money is a big one. Then the Sabbath, which just means rest 1 out of the 7 days of the week. And then you end up appreciating God's creation and God more as a focus. But it's still about resting also. Then honoring your parents. No murder. It's not thou shalt not kill. That's one of, oh my goodness. Some of these newer Bibles, King James from I think 1611 is the best one. That's the most reliable one that I've ever come across. And Sonnet 12 knows that and really brought that out. But that's one I have used. So many misinterpretations. If you see a Bible that says do not kill, get rid of it, give it back, throw it away. Don't pass it on, actually. Don't give it away because it's bad information. And that if they don't know that it's thou shalt not rashak or something like that, rashak, it's a Hebrew word, means a murder. Murder! Everyone kills. You kill to live. You kill to plant. You ate that lettuce. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, the huge manatees. All right, so if there was a piece of salt, I would oh, there we go. I don't think you're going to be able to see it, but there it is. That's from the Mediterranean Sea. And, Mediterranean salt. Yeah, baby. Then marriage vows, and that's how I looked at it. I'm going to look at that one again, but I think that's about that. It's about vows, I think, keeping vows. Don't steal something that's not yours, lying when you false witness, and then greed and that kind of thing. And over here I had a little bit different. Do not steal, do not lie. Do not desire, covet your neighbor's stuff. Do not, do not covet your neighbor's loved ones. Anyway, just simplifying that I did a long time ago. Multiple intelligences need the 5 senses. Multiple intelligences need the 5 senses. Multiple intelligences need the 5 senses. All right, the lyrics for Love Your Enemies. Unite the fight, left to right, LGBTS and black to white. So I'm just talking about the channel is open to anyone who's not going to sabotage and be a troll and be a dum-dum. Be an idiot, be a fool, be a useful idiot, all that kind of stuff. And if I eventually go live, I did it those 2 times that George encouraged me. So eventually I will. I want to. It's not the right, I want to do it well. that's saying that anyone's welcome here, as long as they're not doing those things, being the stupid dum-dums, and not helping and harming. That's really the bottom line. If it's helping things, I don't care if it's pointing something out about me, about my neck wrinkle. Oh, that was kind of cool. I can write a song anytime, and I'm challenging myself, but I can do that. And also, I could take the rejects from the outside of the top 50 in the player pool for the U.S. men's national team. I just know this. I didn't brag growing up, so this probably comes across as bragging, but I can back it. I could take players outside the top 50 player pool for the U.S. men's national team, and I could beat the U.S. men's national team as coach, as leader. I could take those other who are beyond the top 50, and I could beat the U.S. men's national team. Absolutely, I know how to do it. Anyway, so back to this. But when it comes to God, God has God's rules, not me. I don't have those. So this is to my channel. But then, and I always try to answer to God for this channel. But when it comes to doing in the book of Revelations and the end of the age and all that, that's God's decision, and you better get right with God and find out about God if you want that. If you don't want that, that's your choice. That's everyone's choice. So that was the main thing. Is when I sing this, I'm saying everyone's welcome. It's going to unite the fight left to right. It's going to take all kinds of people to push back at the corruption, at the evil. And we have evil in ourselves. Everyone does, and we have to fight that. So that was that was the main one I wanted to address. Is my lyrics still is about now. Unite the fight left to right. Let the scales fall from your eyes. That it's encouraging people to wake up and that kind of thing. This thing sometimes it sits really cool with the cross in there because that's where the second coming, Jesus is going to rule from Jerusalem, from his throne. That's what I read. And, okay, so Walkman's story. So, I was in high school, I think maybe I started this, and I was recording my group, the Green Tree Gang, and wanted to listen to them while I was at school. So I got the smallest tape recorder I could get, maybe about this big, and got a battery pack because I was in electronics. I took electronics in high school, and I got shocked by a TV and got a collapsed lung. But anyway, took that, got a battery pack, connected it, put it on my belt, and got those giant headphones. And this is 1974, 75. Walked around my high school listening to the Green Tree Gang and the songs that the others wrote. I wrote, when I was in the band near the end, I wrote my first song about a woman, Wendy, I'm Waiting. And so I did it. I created that, and I just had that. And then that's 1974. So it turns out that my next door neighbor was the president of the IBM Federal Division, and he was over at Sony all the time in Japan. And he knew Akio Morita, whoever the president of, he was actually there was two main guys in charge of Sony. Chairman of the board, I think, was Akio Morita. And then the Walkman shows up 4 years later. So I always wonder. I've asked Mr. Cook, he doesn't remember. Oh, I just said his name. He's a great guy. Retired from IBM a long time ago. And then I did do some more research and found out this guy, Andreas Pavel, and he called it, he's a German Brazilian, and he called it a stereo belt, but it wasn't it was first patented in Italy in 1977. So in the early 70s when I was doing mine, he was doing one that was much more elaborate. He was an adult, I was a kid, and he made this stereo belt that he eventually did sue Sony and got royalties. I think he ended up getting $10 million after like 25 years suing them. Yeah, not 2003 or something. He got $10 million because of royalties, all that kind of stuff. So just cool that I did that and found out that someone else did, and I did it 4 years before Sony Walkman. And I did always wonder, and like I said, my neighbor doesn't remember. I haven't asked him real closely. I think it was over the phone. But he was friends with the guy. He did business with, I have the name. I remember the name from way back then, Akio Morita. You can look it up. Chairman of the board or president of, I'm pretty sure chairman of the board of Sony. And there came the Walkman. The other one is a friend of mine working at a ad agency. And in a real nice office building, probably in DC, with the big conference room, nice appointments and top level design and advertising place. And they talked about show and tell and bringing something weird for show and tell. So he knew I had this big, fat, weird tongue. So he brought me in, and everyone's showing these funny, goofy things. And then he goes, and I have my friend, and he's going to do it. And I showed my tongue, and he won. He won the prize for the strangest, weirdest show and tell. So anyway, it also has lots of, I told that, it's geographic tongue. And it helped me with my singing. Don't scratch your nose. Sure, don't like it. Bones, rockin'. All right, and then, are the scriptures the script of God? Cute question of the day. And the grade for those who lie about Alex Jones, because I looked up a lot of the things, and he also didn't talk about. They just make anyway. 90% of what's in the controlled media about Alex Jones is misinformation or disinformation. So they get an F. They get an F. But it's not a 0 because there's some decent ones out there. The local paper, the Austin whatever paper, reported somewhat accurately. And then where this fits, because it has to do with censorship and lying. Here is survival of life. So that's not just our species in honor of Brent. All life, plants, animals, everything. And I think the same thing. All life, that's number one priority. I'm giving the priority rating. Bearing false witness is up here. Top, I guess it could be in the top 10, 15. Because that misinformation, disinformation is one of the major causes of problems in the world. So is being smug and arrogant and greedy, jealous. Jealousy is a huge one that's out there right now. Huge. So we can come back to all those concepts that have been around from the beginning of time. All right. So, I was going to use iFlap to grade them also. So they're not accurate. They limit access. They don't give context. They are clear with their lies, making them look like truth. They bring in things that aren't relevant. And then they're really not very refined. The controlled media, they're like useful idiots, barbarians. They're like the Middle Ages are so backwards, but they're controlled by their emotions. And I was going to say something else relevant. Oh, right. They said that he said that he was paranoid or something like that. That was it. It was taken out of context. A lot of times the things that they say, it's the opposite of what they say, and the Bible talks about that. We're living in those times for sure. Are we in the end of an age? So So that's about it. I guess I'll just do a little bit of Love Your Enemies to finish this up. Think I got it all in here. I just love... Oh, yeah. If someone's interested in this, because they can't be found, I looked to see if I could get a pendant like this. Here, it's about like this. Online for weeks. I looked, couldn't find it, so I had this custom made. And so if you are interested in getting a pendant of Old City Jerusalem, because these are walls, so it's been like this since 1541, plus it's a valley, so it's natural topography, and it's over the ancient walls. Let me know in the comments, and I can figure out how you could order it. It would be about 200 bucks, sterling silver. So, one last look at the gut guitar. That's original tailpiece right there. I mean, original tail pin, the pin. Tailpiece is from the 50s, I think. Great Uncle Tony got it in New York City. This is for the pickup. That's a floating pickup. See, this is cantilevered. So I don't think you can see that, but the neck is above the top, so that this has maximum resonance. It was tap tuned, so it's tuned maybe to a C. So, oh yeah. This is the guitar I first debuted this on with George down by the Capitol. Love your enemies, even if you have to kill them. Ruling control freaks don't care a damn about you. Unite the fight, left to right, LGBTS and black to white. Great awakening worldwide, strap on in for a wild ride. Where is God? What have they done to your creation? Oh, my Lord, you said you buy a soul. Hate can be a good thing if you're hating something bad. Evil is something bad to hate. And you say, yeah. Unite the fight, left to right. Let the scales fall from your eyes. Watch out for the thought police. They'll enslave your mind in what you're meant to be. Where is God? What have they done? I done to your creation. Oh, my Lord, you said to buy a sword. Love your enemies, even when it's kill or be killed. So, when I do those different parts, mistakes, it's to show I'm not a robot. Okay, I think that's it. So far, I think that's it. So far, I think that's it. So far, I think that's it. Goodbye. Temple horn black, because all are invited. God loves all, but not all love God. Are we in the end of an age?